cold weather. You know, this dovetails on to defining really what hard is. And we live in a world of comfort. So we've got climate controlled homes, we've got food delivered to our doors, we've got entertainment at the touch of a button. Anything that we want is designed really to make our life easier. But here's the catch. When life is built around comfort, pretty much anything that pushes us outside of that comfort starts to feel hard. So we start to see basic challenges like waking up early, exercising, or anything such as saying no to unhealthy food. We see these as monumental tasks, things that we probably can't achieve. But what if we've just been defining what hard is kind of the wrong way? So today we're really going to challenge that definition. What is hard? And we're going to redefine really what it is, reset our expectations, and learn how we can really push our limits to grow stronger, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So here we go. So think back to a time when you faced something tough. Maybe it was starting a new job, running a race, or even think about when you started the Premier Personal Training Program. Anything such as tackling a personal challenge. You probably went into it a little naive. I know that some of you and the new members that join our PPT program, they don't really have the full concept of what this is going to be like. They don't really fully realize that it might be hard. So some of the tasks that we take on, we don't fully have the full idea of what it's going to look like. We're pretty naive to it. And once we get into it, we realize we're already into this. There's no looking back. We've got to keep going. And at that point, you might realize this is hard. You kept going. You ended up doing it. And when you look back, you thought, man, I can't believe I accomplished that. But if you knew how hard it would be before starting, you might not have talked yourself into actually doing it. You would have talked yourself out of it. But you didn't. You showed up, you pushed through, and you came out stronger. So think about individuals that train for their first 5K race, or they start that first job. They might have been feeling overwhelmed halfway through it, but they still finished. And that experience changed their perception of what they thought they were capable of doing. So here's the takeaway. You've done hard things before. You just didn't realize how hard they were until you pushed through them. So what's stopping you from doing it again? So I talk about David Goggins a lot. He was an individual that changed me mentally as far as my expectations in my life, in my fitness, in my work, in anything that I start defining as hard. And if you've heard of David Goggins, he's known as kind of the echelon of mental toughness. He talks about how we all have a governor in our minds that stops us at about 40% of our true capacity. And when we feel like we're at our limit, we're just really starting to scratch the surface of what we're capable of doing. So his message is, when you think that you're done, you're really only about at 40%, so keep going. So our definition of hard is often just the edge of our comfort zone. But to grow, we really need to push beyond that threshold. So for David Goggins, I mean, he was almost 300 pounds, 24 years old, and decided, hey, I'm going to go back into the military and become a Navy SEAL. He failed it multiple times due to injury when he almost was done and couldn't push anymore because he's still trying to compete with a broken leg and finish. And they made him stop. He ran ultra marathons where he ran over 200 miles in one race continuously. He ended up, when he got stress fractures in his legs from running so much, that he decided, I'm going to break the pull-up record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. And he did it. Not the first time, because his hands blistered too much and his muscles cramped too much, but he did it the second time. But he built that toughness one hard thing at a time. So what is your idea of hard? Is it just the edge of what you're truly capable of? What if you're only living at 40%? So just like physical strength that you see us here working out in the gym, mental toughness is a muscle too. The more you push it, the stronger it gets. And the key is to consistently push your threshold, even in small ways, to raise your baseline of what hard really is. So we've talked about some of these things before on they help you mentally push through. I've talked about cold showers, starting with 30 seconds of a cold water at the end of your shower. It's uncomfortable, but it trains your mind to embrace discomfort. Now, there's other benefits too, such as mood, such as brown fat. We've talked about all those. But the cold shower is really just to push you out of comfort, is to raise your threshold of hard. What about waking up 30 minutes early? Earlier than you want to, when you don't have to? What if you use that 30 minutes for exercise, meditation, or just to plan out your day? What about taking the stairs and skipping the elevator? It's a small challenge, but it adds up. What about doing an extra rep or an extra set when you're working out? Whether you're lifting weights or doing body weight exercises, pushing yourself to just do one more when your mind is saying you're done. What about difficult conversations? Having that uncomfortable conversation that you've been avoiding with somebody that you care about. Leaning into emotional discomfort. What about turning off your phone or limiting your social media for an hour each day? It's harder than it sounds, but it clears your mind. See, the goal, these might seem small, but they're really just stepping stones, because each time you push through discomfort, you're training your brain to raise the bar of what hard really looks like. It's actually physiological. The more you keep training yourself to be in discomfort, your body adapts. So we need to raise the bar or your baseline of what hard looks like. If we keep defining basic challenges as hard, we're never going to reach our true potential. But when you push your limits, the things that you once found difficult become your new normal. I mean, think about your first workout in here. It probably felt brutal, probably felt harder. I've had some people cry during their first workouts and go, "This isn't the right program for me." I go, "Why?" And they go, "Because I'm weaker than even you thought I was." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Well, you put all these sets and reps on here, and I can't even do two of them." And it's like, "Ooh, hold on. You don't have to do all of these." And we have to reset expectations, because the first time working out was too overwhelming. But think about where you're at now. You're stronger, you're faster, you're more resilient because you kept showing up. So what if your current hard is just your starting point? What if you could look back a year from now and realize that what once seemed impossible is now part of your daily routine? Because comfort zones don't keep you safe, they keep you small. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. That's truly where the magic happens. So here's my challenge for you this week. Do one thing every day that pushes your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be uncomfortable enough to make you question it. When you feel that resistance, that's where the growth happens. So here are the steps I want you to take. First, identify your comfort zone. Where are you playing it safe in your life? Your fitness, your work, your relationships? Where are you playing it safe? Identify that. Then pick one challenge. Choose something today that feels uncomfortable. It could be waking up earlier, pushing through an extra workout, or having that difficult conversation. And then reflect and repeat it. At the end of the day, reflect on how it felt. Then do it again tomorrow. Because remember, hard isn't the enemy. It's the gateway to growth. Every time you push beyond what you thought you were capable of, you're redefining what hard really is. You're raising the bar, you're expanding your limits, and you're becoming the strongest version of you. Now, you've done hard things before. You can do them again. Now, I want you to go this week and get after it. Go redefine what hard is. So when we talk about Jan's husband going out in 6-degree weather, going for his walk, there's part of him thinking, yeah, let's redefine hard. because when I walk in the summer, it's easy. The sun's shining, it's all hitting me and everything's easy. But can he stay consistent when it's 6 degrees? When it's bristly on his face? He's redefining hard, and you can too. So today, thanks for tuning in to Motivational Monday. I hope this message resonated with you. If it did, share it with someone who needs that reminder as well. They need to know how strong they really are. And don't forget, tackle this challenge. When I post it in the school app, put your comment, let me know what you're going to do each day to increase what hard is. What are you going to do that's a little uncomfortable this week, each day? All right, until next time, stay consistent, stay uncomfortable, and keep pushing your limits. You've got this. I'll see you in the gym. Thanks, guys.